Kathryn Krick keeps coming up on my feed, and people are talking about her being a cult. For those of you who don't know Kathryn Krick, she is the pastor of the 5F Church in Los Angeles. It's very much based in speaking in tongues and revival and evangelicalism. Now, I don't know if she's a cult or not a cult, but I have seen enough people who used to be members of her church that give me pause.
I love you so much, Mama. Happy early birthday. It is such an honor to serve you as your spiritual daughter. I love you, and you're my favorite.
If you're new here, I'm Professor Einstein. I'm a former TV and advertising executive turned marketing critic. I'm also the author of this book, Hoodwinked, How Marketers Use the Same Tactics as Cults. And one of the things I talk about in this book is what are the things that you need to look for when you're looking at a cult. In particular, you want to see whether or not there's a charismatic cult leader. Check. Whether or not that person is providing an all-encompassing worldview. I think you can also say, check. There's also a specific recruitment and retention technique that cults use in order to indoctrinate people into their organization. This is based on the work of Lauren Dawson, who is a sociologist of religion. The first step in the process is to find vulnerable people, somebody who's going through a change in their lives, somebody who's moved to a new place. Because of that, you are in a position where you are open to somebody who's going to make you feel better. The second part of this is to lure with deception. She's calling herself an apostle. I don't know, I think that's kind of deceptive. Minimally, we know she's selling a book, and her book was published by Charisma Publishing. The owner of that publisher is Stephen Strang. Stephen Strang, who is a huge supporter of Donald Trump. The next part of this is love bombing. Surround people with so much acceptance, telling them they're part of the group, telling them how much you love them. The next part of it is tough love. This is when cults do things like extract blackmail kinds of information that they can use against you later. You might have seen this in documentaries like The Vow about the NXIVM cult. And there's sensory deprivation, hypnosis, and meditation. And the speaking in tongues kind of falls under that area. The next part is renouncing those who are not part of the group. Anyone who would tell you that there's something wrong with this apostle, you don't want to listen to. It's the creation of in and out groups, and it's fundamental to the creation of a very insular group like a cult. Then they introduce their true beliefs. And when you come down to the brass tacks, the bottom line of what a cult is all about, it is about free labor and money and power. Oftentimes, if there's a male cult leader, the power has to do with sex. If it's a woman, it could also be that, but it's also having people say how much they love her.
Happy birthday, Mama. I love you so much. I cherish this ministry so much.
I love you so much. Thank you for laying down your life that we may live and be equipped and transformed. So I honor you. I love you so much.
That's the power play. And the last part of this is severe repercussions for trying to leave. If you follow Leah Remini's work, you know that Scientologists make it almost impossible for people to leave. They make it very, very uncomfortable. So if you see any of these at play as it relates to your friends and family members who may be involved in this, you might want to ask them questions. Don't denounce the leader, but ask them questions. If you want more information about how to get friends and family members out of cults, I recommend an episode of my podcast that I did with Dr. Tanya Johnson. She's a therapist who specializes in how to get people out of high control groups. Follow here for more information about the real message behind the marketing.